Good morning, shoppers, and welcome to Studio Anvil.
Do, 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 do.
I'm your host, DJ Anvil. This is my co-host, Izzy.
And today we will be talking about our recap for the month of May.
May.
Now, normally we have a challenge for each month, week, or just overall. But May, we took a little bit of break and mainly did choice, but we did 1 week of Bite the Bullet. So basically artists that, for whatever reason, we didn't want to listen to, and we forced ourselves to listen to a full album.
Well, we felt like we needed to because of their popularity or just because
we have a
really
personal vendetta.
Yeah. But for the most part, these are bigger bands that most people have heard of that we just didn't want to have anything to do with.
Alrighty, should we get started?
Yes, how about week 1?
Alrighty, so we've added a few new things this month, and the first thing is that we're doing now an album of the week, so we'll just mention it as we go by.
All right, so on day 1, we listened to REM's Out of Time, kind of a bouncy album, something that I listened to a lot of. Didn't leave a great impression on Izzy.
I didn't really have anything bad about it, but again, it was just kind of like...
It was mad to you.
Meh, yeah.
So what did we do on day 2?
We did Mouth to Mouth, Lips Inc., and if that name sounds familiar, it's because it's Funky Town.
From Shrek.
From Shrek.
Yeah, there you go.
You've heard it a bajillion times, and now it's stuck in your head. You're welcome. Then we went into... I always think Mass Education, but it's Mass Seduction by St. Vincent.
Yeah, Mass Education is sort of how it's spelled. New York isn't New York. That was a good song. The rest of the album is okay. I mean, it wasn't nothing bad, nothing good.
And then we went on to Angst in My Pants by Sparks. A little spoiler alert, this one gets a lot of awards, including the weekly award, and a 10 on...
DJ.Anvil.
There you go, you picked
up
on
Instagram.
It. Really fun album to listen to, very weird. I don't advise you drugs, but if you would like to, just listen to the album. That'll probably be a lot safer.
Yeah, and right now they have a movie out in the theaters about their life because they are a unique brother team.
They're just weird. In a good way.
Well, when you have songs called Mickey Mouse and Nicotina and Angst in My Pants, well, that pretty much sums up that album.
And then off of a suggestion, we did High Mileage by Alan Jackson.
That was pretty country.
Very country.
Yeah, very country. Not new country, not neo-country, not country pop.
Neo-country.
I mean, this was just country. This was beer and T-shirt country.
And then quite the opposite of that, we did Timely by Henri, which is a Japanese girl, sings in Japanese, and it's like, how would you describe it?
Well, if you know anything about the 70s and 80s and the soundtracks that came out, it was very much that. A lot of... romantic sounding music, a lot of saxophone.
It literally sounds like every intro. If you listen to any intro, it'll sound like it's sampled in there. And as far as I know, it's not sampled by anything. I mean, it's obviously reminiscent.
Yeah, I personally thought it was covers.
Huh. I don't know what just fell. Doesn't matter.
One of the lights fell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sticky tape ain't so sticky. So after that, we went into one that I was really looking forward to, Hootie and the Blowfish with Crack Rear View.
I don't remember it.
It still had a few. I only want to be with you. It had that, didn't really hold up as well as I thought it would. And that was the end of week 1. So that brings up week 2. Week 2. And that began with Grandson, Death of an Optimist. Grandson.
Now, I followed Grandson throughout his career because for some reason it popped up on my Spotify back in 2016. I liked it. I remember really liking it. And I really like his new stuff, too. What? So much so that it got the weekly award.
Is that your Grandson flex?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Well, after that, we the next day we did Glass Heart by Mel Parsons. Mel Parsons is a very small act in New Zealand. She came to my attention through a mystery show, Brokenwood Mysteries. Just got really deep lyrics. I mean, she really knows how to sum up an emotion in 1 or 2 lines.
Pretty acoustic guitar, pretty voice.
Yeah. Definitely. Then,
and didn't she go into hot debate for the week?
She did. I put her down as the week, but Izzy had a good point. She does listen to a lot more Grandson than I listen to Mel Parsons, so Mel lost out the week.
And now we started our Bite the Bullet week. I know, not an even number. I wish it would have been, but it wasn't.
Now, OCD alert. You should have really put that out there first,
I know.
We just triggered somebody.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I apologize to whoever may have gotten triggered by that.
If you didn't get triggered by that, you're going to be triggered by Ariana Grande. Thank you, next. That was the first one.
I mean, we picked her because she's huge, and I've never listened to her, and I never will again.
Yeah, and you could see more of a detailed review on DJ.anvil.
Yes, thank you. Look at you throwing that in there.
Just too long, didn't read. Surprisingly, the lyrics had bad influences, and it just kind of sounded generic. So.
Yeah, I don't like to pull the parent card very often, but as a parent, I was kind of like, I'm really glad that Izzy doesn't...
listen to that?
Well, like follow that, or live like that, or think like that.
Yeah, I could imagine that being reassuring.
And then speaking of, thank God Izzy doesn't act like that, Doja Cat, Hot Pink.
Any review we give would probably be censored, just like her album.
No, I can do it. I think I can do it. If a cow pooped on a cold day in your mouth, this album would be slightly worse than that.
That's weird because she did a song about being a cow. It was a very popular thing. Yeah.
No, she should have been Doja Cow.
Doja Cow.
Yeah. Oh, let's move on quickly. Oh, boy. What did we move on to next?
Band on the Run, Paul McCartney.
Oh, God.
One of his own quotes was saying that the lyrics do not mean anything, basically.
Yeah, I'm a John Lennon fan. I'm a Beatles fan. I've been to Beatles Fest, and I just really have a grudge against Paul McCartney for some reason. I really do. So that's why he was on the Bite the Bullet week, because I just think he's not really that talented. He's not. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's not successful, but overrated. And speaking of overrated, that brought us to the next album we did.
News of the World, Queen.
This is one that I thought maybe would win me over. I've just always thought that Queen was overrated. People say, oh, Queen's my favorite band, and I kind of stare at them like I don't understand that. It did not win me over, really. It was...
No, it was... It had the Dunk Dunk 2 song.
Yeah, We Are the Champions, and We Will Rock You.
I think that it's a joke. But
yeah, which would be good if you're at like a hockey game and that comes on. But the rest of the album was just...
once you've listened to
a
full season of AGT, you've listened to that song too many times already. So.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now, here is the biggest surprise. Not because it was bad, because it was good, surprisingly. Invasion of Privacy, Cardi B. This one was weird. We thought we were going to hate it. But it had a really good song on it, and the rest of it was just kind of. It
wasn't that bad. I have a bone to pick with Cardi B about a lot of things in life. I really predicted that Cardi B was going to be the worst of the seven, and it turned out to be the best of the seven. And I mean, I think that's why you come here or to DJ.anvil on Instagram for reviews, because. I mean, we're honest. Like, I don't like Cardi B as a person.
I don't think many people do, but...
Yeah, but I can't say that her music was that bad. Out of these 7 groups...
I would
listen
make
to it
the
over.
argument that her new stuff, albeit extremely not safe for work, and you couldn't put it on in front of many people, I would think it would make you feel hyped about yourself. If you were of that particular demographic...
I don't see myself listening to WAP, though.
But, I don't think it was for you. But.
Yeah, it probably isn't. I mean, you could make the argument it is for me, but, wow, that was an uncomfortable moment. Speaking, that was the end of the week, so we got to sum up that week. That was week 2, so on to week 3?
Continuing off of the uncomfortableness of that comment.
Yeah, week 3, small brain moment. We should have really put Bite the Bullet in its own separate week. But how did we start week 3?
Nevermind, Nirvana. And I'm sure you've seen the album cover and you know what we're talking about, but the album was just meh as well. They had the one song, the Bum-Ba-Dum-Dum song. That really did not sound like it, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, and their biggest song is Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it was basically some graffiti that was written on a wall, and it said that somebody smelled like Teen Spirit, which was a brand of cologne, and now it's like this anthem of, like, the sad kids. I don't know. Nirvana came along and kind of displaced my music at the time, so I hated them. That's why they made the list.
And then the final day of the Bite the Bullet is Weezer. Yes.
Yeah, and that was an album.
It was an album. I forgot it, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it had
I remember not liking it.
It had that song Buddy Holly. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do sound bits.
And
for
You're
songs
Mary
you should
Tyler
know.
Moore.
And
Yeah.
then,
The palate cleanser.
oh,
To cleanse the palate of all of that badness. 7 straight days of mediocre to horrible music. And we cleansed it, and we cleansed it well.
with Born Naked by RuPaul. Because remember, we're all born naked and the rest is drag.
There you go. Izzy over here is a
RuPaul
huge fan. A huge fan. We should start calling her Drag Izzy. I should start calling her Eric. I don't know how that works out.
It's a very dancey album.
But it did have, and now it's escaping my brain. The name of that one song that was sort of acoustical. How You Gonna Love Yourself?
Yeah, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Yeah, that
Can
was.
I get an amen?
Yeah, what was
Can
that
I
called?
Get an amen?
Can I Get an Amen? That was an awesome song. One of the best songs we've heard in this challenge, and what a surprising source. I still have the album on my daily rotation. Well, not right now because it's all scaled in IC and AWOL Nation, but that's another story.
That's later. You'll hear it
for a month.
eventually. Then we went on to Zipango from Wednesday Campanella. Just want to revisit them again. Another Japanese group, weird group. The lyrics are weird.
Well, the lyrics are weird because they're singing what sounds good. So in other words, she's
Yeah.
kind of the Japanese Paul McCartney, but a lot more likable.
A lot more likable, and the songs actually had a story. It sounded good, but it was just the recipe for how to make a cake.
Yeah.
That's not even
we
a
tried,
joke.
we tried to follow it, and we ended up with hash browns. So don't go to her for cooking advice.
Then we went on to album 1 by Steam Powered Giraffe. And
Definitely a weird entry. We're huge fans of Steam Powered Giraffe. It's not the typical kind of music that I would listen to, but steampunk. It's just really good.
Yeah.
It's really catchy. It's really good sing along music. It would be awesome live music.
They've created their own universe where they're steam powered robots, basically, and they're a band.
Yes.
They're a band and they're robots, and that's the music.
But I don't know how the giraffes fit in, but you know what? I'm cool with it. So what do we go to next?
No Fun Intended, Tyler Joseph's solo album. That's very hard to find, so we just went with the 19 songs that are most generally accepted. The quality of the recordings obviously isn't that good because they're from when he's in high school.
Yeah.
But it really shows the beginning of 21 Pilots.
The genesis.
Clearly.
The genesis of 21 Pilots. It's a good album. It's the only, part of this is Izzy refuses to do any albums that she's already heard. I'm a much more flexible person, yoga. But she's very inflexible. I mean, you try trying to be her father sometimes. But anyhow, we needed a 21 Pilots album to lead into their new release, which came out the very next day.
Scale the Nicey, 21 Pilots. We love 21 Pilots. End of story. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
A really good album. They have a whole storyline throughout all of their albums. If you like alt rock and you like more lyric heavy music, or where they're more important, I guess you can say, I don't know what the phrasing would be, you need to check them out. I know you might not like them because of Stressed Out. We didn't for the longest time, but now
That's a whole odyssey, is my hatred of 21 Pilots and how I got turned around. Someday I'm going to tell the story, but if you go to Spotify and you visit DJ Anvil, you'll find a playlist that I put together that chronologically
called 21 Anvils.
21 amp. Thank you very much. Thank you for remembering that. But it's a chronological 4 songs off of each of their albums on Spotify, and it sort of focuses on songs that are important to the album, songs that are important to the storyline, and the songs that won me over and turned me into, well, you know what? I'll fight you. I'll die on this hill. I'm probably one of their biggest fans. I'm you know what? F it. I'm their biggest fan. And my name is Dan. Daniel James. That's where you get the DJ Anvil. Look at that. I worked that story right in.
Oh, wow. Look at you go.
Yeah, look at that. Look at me go. So that concludes week 3?
Yes.
Which means, I know this one. Week 4. All right, week 4, we started with day 1, Night and Day by Joe Jackson. This was kind of an experimental album out of the 80s. It's been one of my favorite albums, but I could see how it didn't hold up. I could see why it didn't appeal to Izzy. But I still recommend it because it's a really interesting milestone in music, I think, personally, because it was really blending a fusion. It was one of the best fusion albums that's ever come out. It blended sort of Latin rhythms with new wave music. Yeah.
And then we did Black is Blue by Morcheeba. It was very difficult figuring out the genre for this one. It's just, if you want to describe it as a mood, it was very chill, very...
Chill, soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not one of their best albums, but, I mean, Morcheeba is one of those bands where even when they put out a cat turd, it still tastes like ambrosia.
And then, speaking of chill albums, we did Fox Warren by Fox Warren, and this is just a sleeping pill. It's not even that it's, like, boring or anything. It's just... For some reason, maybe they purposely did this, but there's something in the music that makes you tired.
Yeah, it's like warm milk and tryptophan. Yeah.
And then quite the opposite of that, we did Typhoons by Royal Blood. This was a real surprise.
This came from somebody who follows me on dj.anvil on Instagram. They were hyping up Royal Blood, and I was like, it just sounds good, but boy, it's really a unique sound.
So unique that it won this week, and we forgot to mention it, but last week 21 Pilots won.
No, I didn't even think we had to mention that, really. But yeah, it's a unique blend of, the guy is known for using his bass guitar to replicate guitars. And man, sometimes you taste something in life and you're like, oh my God, where's this been all my life? And his bass/guitar work was just really good. It wasn't like, it's hard to put into words because it was just ethereal. It was just like, wow, that is something I've never heard before.
It was really interesting. Yeah,
it was unfamiliar but familiar.
If you like rock and anything in that kind of vein, I would recommend you listen to them because they sound like something you've heard, but not at all. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like I said, familiar but unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Very good.
Then we went on to Messing with Magic by Annabelle Ungland. It's kind of just...
Ungland or England?
Ungland. I don't know.
I think it's England, but just misspelled. I don't know. I did not think this was going to be good. But this was...
You were right. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was wrong. This was proper house music, but she put a lot into her lyrics, and she had some songs that were really kind of touching, talking about hugging her parents and stuff, and it was really positive. It was really upbeat. It was the kind of album you would put on when you need to be lifted out of a sad mood.
Yeah, when you think of house music and just like party music, you don't think lyrics ever. I don't think anyone has said that. But she did that, and it was a very weird but nice blend. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we moved, speaking of weird, nice blends, we moved on to Go Bang by Shriekback. Not my favorite album by Shriekback. I'm a huge Shriekback fan. Have been since they came out in the 80s. I love the album Oil and Gold. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. But Go Bang, it didn't quite hit that mark, but it still has some music that I think all age groups could find relevant.
Yeah, we'll cover Oil and Gold later, but for some reason it's not on Spotify, so we did Go Bang because we were running low on time that night, I think.
Yeah.
And then we finished the week off with Infinitely Ordinary by The Rex. That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it was a good solid rock album. Lyrically,
it had some really funny lyrics, very catchy.
Yeah,
and clever.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I would recommend. It's it was a good week. Towards the end there, we really picked up a few new ones because Royal Blood is in my daily rotation, and the Rex are in my daily rotation.
Really now?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And now on to the very, very short week 5.
Dun 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 dun.
Week 5.
Week 5 was
weird. Well, it was only 3 days, so it wasn't really a week.
But 3 days, 2 of the worst albums and 1 of the best albums.
Very strange.
How did we start it?
Spider by Lucas Lex. There's a reason you've never heard of this. It's hyperpop, so
I still hate you for making me listen to it. Seriously, that was...
I'm sure most of you out there have heard it, but not liked hyperpop. It's just very, very Monster Energy drink, but music.
It's like a room full of 13-year-old boys that are like jacked up on Red Bull and cocaine. and they're just pushing every damn button in the studio. And I'll give anybody a gold star if you can listen to it without getting a headache. And who did we move on to? We moved on to something really good, didn't we?
Bloom by Troye Sivan. This won the week 3 days. I don't know.
It won the week. This is an album that's been in my daily rotation for about a year now since it came out, I think.
I don't know.
The guy has a knack. I mean, I was shocked. Izzy told me that he was a YouTuber, and I was floored because this sounded like a real, proper songwriter. He wrote songs about love that came from angles that I haven't heard. And I've been listening to music for 50 plus years. And I've never heard these angles. I've never heard the lyrical composition that I heard out of Troye Sivan. I love the guy. I recommend, this is one of my most highly recommended albums. You know, it might not be for everyone. Some people might be put off by certain elements of his lifestyle. But, I don't give a shit about that. So I love the album.
It's good love music. It's super sweet. And
unlike Haley Kiyoko, who has to push the point that, she likes girls, Troy doesn't have to push the point that he likes boys. It's just there. It's a good love song. It reminds me of Pet Shop Boys.
Boy instead of my girl. It was very sweet.
You didn't even really notice it, but it reminded me of Pet Shop Boys in that way.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a gender, even though it does.
Yeah, epic love songs that are for the same sex, but like as a hetero, you could still enjoy it because the lyrics are good on this.
Yeah, even if you don't listen, just click on any of the songs and look at the lyrics. I'm sure you'll find something interesting.
Go to dj.anvil on Instagram and look up our top songs by him, and you'll see what we mean. I mean, this is a masterpiece of an album, and I think it's one that'll remain relevant for decades.
Yeah. And then we finished the month off with Don't Wait Till Tomorrow by Yonaka. I really wanted to like them, but I didn't. The way we described it is that it is the perfect opening band. You could sing along to it because it's already catchy enough, but they're kind of forgettable in every other sense, and they didn't really have anything that set them apart. It just kind of felt almost like a plant.
Well, it seemed more a plant. It seemed more like an industry concoction.
Oh, that's what I meant. I forgot.
Yeah, it literally sounds. It's as soon as they come on, it's a very familiar sound. They quickly get to choruses that you're going to sing along to, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like shaved ice. It may be tasty, but it doesn't fill you up.
It's just water.
And you don't really need to go back for more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums that up. And that's week 5. So coming up next, we're going to do all of our awards and salutations, and you're going to hear our opinions on what was the best, the worst, and the weirdest.
Awards. They're a thing, and we do the thing for the thing that we review.
Very good. Thing 1.
Alrighty, so the first award that we've added 3, by the way, in case you're wondering why.
Now is more awards.
Is the Longevity Award. So what's been out for a long time, but still remains good. I think that, explains itself. And this goes to...
I don't remember.
I'm asking for a drum roll, please. Thank you. Angst in My Pants by Sparks. You'll hear them a lot on our awards.
Yeah, that was one of my secret what's that word? Guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures,
yes. And I was surprised when I shared it with the fam, and I was I'm even more surprised that I just said the word fam, because really I should punch myself in the skull for saying that.
Then we go on to the funnest album. I know it's not a word. Born Naked by RuPaul.
Oh, by far.
Yes. Just put it on. You will feel hype.
No matter what you might think about drag queens, they are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
The next award is the Overachieving Award.
I can't drum roll right now. My arm's still sore.
The Overachieving Awards to, who we weren't really expecting much
Lowest
from.
Expectations, best results.
Yep. Typhoon. It's my royal blood. Then we go on to what is the most genre specific. So what would have the least mass appeal?
Least mass appeal.
Thank you.
Okay.
Spider by Lucas Lex. That
My
was
arm is so tight I can't get it to drum. These
That was
freaking
hyper pop.
vaccines.
And it's not very good if you're most people.
No, it's. I don't even want to discuss people with trying to describe that music. It's,
Then we go on to our individual favorites. Mine was Scaled and Icy by 21 Pilots.
Mine was Angst in My Pants by Sparks.
Would you like to guess Off-Camera Amy's?
Oh, Off-Camera Amy's? Alan Jackson.
Mel Parsons.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mel
Because
Parsons.
she loves mysteries.
Yeah. She does love mysteries.
That's one of the reasons she loves me is I introduced her all the mysteries in the world. And I download the ones from Britain for her.
And you're not balding.
That's right. I'm not balding. Now check out this hair. There you go. That's real. Look, I'm pulling on it right now. You can hear that. That's my real hair.
Then we go on to the most surprising album. This is close to the overachieving award, but I don't know. It's close to it. Simple as that. But it's not. Timely
By Henri. Very surprising. When we listen to Japanese music, sometimes it's hard to enjoy it because we don't really know what they're saying. In the case of Henri, she does mix in a lot of English, but you could feel it. And since the music was so familiar, you sort of knew what she would be saying in English. You could sing along in your mind. And I think that was what really just blew me away. And it's really good. If you're driving home and it's been a stressful day and you're stuck in traffic, Timely by Henri is a great album to put on because it transports you and it engages you so the time flies by, but it relaxes you just as well.
I like that description.
Yeah.
Then we go on to the best album for the masses. Now, Band on the Run, Paul McCartney. This one was not a compliment. As you heard,
No.
We did not like it. And we're saying that's the best album for the masses because it has no uniqueness or flavor or anything that...
It's like vanilla ice cream.
You don't really hate it, but it's most people's not first choice.
Yeah, and it's not even the vanilla. It's the fake vanilla ice cream.
Oh, not the bean vanilla. Not the bean vanilla. The bean vanilla, it's different. But...
That's more Ringo Starr.
Then we go on to the most unique album. Angst in My Pants, Sparks once again. Like we said, it's getting a lot of awards.
It's so unique. It is almost a parody album, but... Well, I mean, in a way, it's sort of Weird Al Yankovic adjacent, which we've both been, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we've met him, so.
That took me a while.
Yeah.
Then we go on to the worst album overall.
Oh.
Hot Pink by Doja Cat. It's
yeah,
bad.
it was gross. I called it anti-sexual because it was so sexual and gross that it made you not want to have sex. So that's why I'm making sure Izzy listens to it on a nightly basis.
And
Dad of the year.
Amy's worst was?
Amy's worst was, I'm going to say, Steam Powered Giraffe.
You're going to be surprised.
What?
News of the World Queen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Off-camera Amy / librarian Amy / proofreader Amy has really surprised me this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Month. But.
Month. Day. Yeah.
Same thing.
It's all time. I hate time.
And now we go on to the best album overall. I'll give a drum roll.
Scaled and Icy. 21 Pilots.
2 albums with high amounts of awards this
Yeah.
month. Very strange.
It's Scaled and Icy. I mean, it's so good to have them back. And when a group writes songs that you can relate to at that level, you miss them when they're gone.
Yeah.
I actually
like an
today,
old friend.
Yeah, I actually spent the day today. I've listened to their entire catalog on Spotify, and I put together a list. You just search
21 Anvils.
21 Anvils, and you'll have a comprehensive 21 songs that span their career and sort of explain the albums and explain my love for them.
And then for the month of June, what are we doing in June?
We haven't really decided yet.
Yes, we have.
Oh, we have, because I'm thinking of July. This is why I am not in charge. What are we doing for June?
So we have decided to do 1 week, so 7 albums of the year that each of us graduated. So your year
That 86.
for high school, mine for
Junior high. 2018.
I barely remember myself. And then
all the drugs.
Off camera Amy's 91. We're doing it right now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should say. I wasn't personally going to say what year she graduated high school.
Well, they'd figure out.
But then they could age, and then they could age us, and then if they ever found out when we met, then I would be in trouble.
Maybe you shouldn't have said that last part, but
yeah, I probably
shouldn't.
And
then
then
we finish off the month with a Bite the Bullet 6 days because we're having 2 additional albums that we wanted to cover, but they don't fit in the challenge, but we still want to do them.
Yeah,
we're time sensitive.
We're trying to do new albums as they come out now. Because this is more about listening to albums and sharing our music than reviewing. But it's turning a little bit into reviewing as we've had artists Neon She, Fields. I can't remember his first name now. Terrell Fields. We've had people approach us, and we started realizing we need to, not just do Scaled and Icy, we need to review new albums. So when new albums come out, we're going to break from tradition.
So please check in next month with that. And you can follow daily on DJ Down Anvil, where we post a little bit more detailed reviews of every album that we do.
Little smirky reviews every now and then, foodie type reviews, just fun reviews. I mean, we're just trying to share our music. We're just trying to, find a community of like-minded music listeners and spread the love.
Yeah.
And then spread some peanut butter and some jelly because, damn, I'm getting hungry.
What about peanut butter and honey? That's a lovely combo. It's good.
Oh.
It's good.
I think that's what got Adam and Eve kicked out of
Try
Eden.
it. No. Bread, peanut butter, honey, bread. No heat. It's very good.
Well, I mean, since we're going off on weird food terms, you remember one of your favorites whenever you get all persnickety about food, what I'd always have to make for you?
The burrito.
Yeah. Peanut butter and chocolate chip burritos. Damn, I am getting hungry now.
Yeah, maybe we should stop talking about food and start talking about the outro.
Like,
subscribe.
Bye-bye.